Welcome back to another episode of Living Well with Affinity. My name is Nikki Csek. I'm your host, and I'm super excited to have in studio with you an amazing duo. So we have the two chiropractic doctors from Affinity Wellness here with us, Dr. Sasha Schulz and Dr. Clayton Selles.
Thanks for having us, Nikki.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for coming. So I do think many people have experienced a chiropractor or know of someone that has gone to seek chiropractic help, but can you give the listeners sort of an intro into what is chiropractic?
Sure, yeah. I think the easiest way that I could boil it down would be healthcare for your muscles and joints. That's I think as simple as I can make it. So muscle joint pain, injuries, muscles and joint injuries, aches, common aches and pains. Yeah.
And anything you want to add?
Yeah, when it comes to chiropractic, everyone always thinks of the traditional spinal manipulations, the popping and the cracking adjustments, where chiropractic has evolved so much over the last dozen of years here, where it's not just pop and crack you until you feel better. It's, we still do adjustments to help improve range of motion and things like that, but we also do muscle work. We'll do stretches, active release, fascial release. And then we also do rehab therapy as well. So we'll get you in our gym, moving around, exercises, things like that. It's so much more than just the traditional popping and cracking now.
And I've had the pleasure of visiting Affinity. I go to the clinic. I have you take care of my muscle and bones,
joints,
joint health. So I'm curious, how long have you been a chiropractor? How long have you been practicing?
We actually graduated school together in 2018, so this is our 6th year now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you graduate?
We went to the University of Western States in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
We were actually college roommates.
No.
It's true.
Wouldn't lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And with going to school in the States too, we didn't really know anybody. We're just all these Canadians kind of went to this school, just one of the closer ones to Canada. And so in this Facebook group, we just messaged, hey, I need a roommate. And then we connected and I was like, I'll bring my basketball. And we're like, oh, we friends right away. We like basketball. And we didn't know each other until the day we moved in together.
Okay.
And then we've been best friends ever since.
I love this. So now I'm curious. Chiropractic, I believe, like any other discipline, is very unique to the practitioner, to the individual. You have different, I'm assuming you have different things that you believe work differently or work well for you in the administration for your patients. So how you guys have been roommates, you've learned together. I don't know how Kyla found you and got you both, but I love this. There's the story here. So she gets you both. How do you complement each other in the clinic if there's identified differences in a patient that might be better served by Sasha or vice versa?
Good call, bad call, for sure. For sure.
Who's the good cop?
Yes.
Okay. Do tell.
He's the big friendly guy, and then I'm the one that cracks the whip a little bit.
Okay.
Not intentionally, but I think it's just kind of how it works out. Yeah, I'm not trying to be. Yeah.
But that's an interesting difference. Thank you for being so honest and sharing, because I do think as people are trying to find their doctor that they want to work with, there are different styles and different approaches. If you strongly tell me what to do, we're probably going to fight. Mm. But if your style would probably, and I don't know, but would work better for me, because I think you travel in maybe, I'm going to put words in your mouth, forgiveness. So when I come to you next week and tell you that I have not done any of the exercises that you've given me, I feel like you won't.
I'm not going to grind you for it. No.
Okay.
That's part of my fault too, where I go, oh, you didn't do it? Don't worry about it. Life gets busy. It's okay. But then what happens? You end up being in a little more pain. We regress a little bit. But that happens sometimes. And that's where Sasha was so great at it. He's like, well, you know why you're feeling crummy nowadays?
Good cut, bad cut.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does someone determine that it is chiropractic that they need to pursue? Is there certain accidents or certain injuries or certain tells that tell us, chiropractic?
I think, anything that's not an obvious emergency is a good candidate in terms of pain or injury. So if you have a broken limb, you need a cast to go to a hospital for that, right?
Get that.
But if you have just typical aches and pains, headaches, knee pain, back pain, any of that, chiropractic can be your first stop. We're primary practitioners for musculoskeletal issues. So.
Yeah, and with our clinic too, we're a multidisciplinary clinic. So we have chiros, physios, massage therapists. So there's so many people to work on different problems. And traditionally, which has kind of changed now, but traditionally massage therapy was, let's work on the muscles. Chiropractic was, let's work on the joints and the spine. And then physiotherapy was, let's do exercise therapy. Chiropractic now is also had a lot of crossover with physio. I know physios who adjust the spine now, so there's a lot of crossover going that way too. So if it's any kind of muscle, joint, bone injury, or just your general aches and pains, we formalize a little game plan to help get you out of those problems and get you feeling better and prevent those things from coming back too.
And I like that, and I can attest to that. I know that's the case at Affinity. As I've been seeing Kyla, I say, because of the way you structured the clinic and have the exercise equipment there, it's exciting to reimagine. This morning I said, I want you guys to train me on how to gain muscle and how to lift properly without injury.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm at the right place. I know that it may or may not be Kyla, but it might be you or it might be someone else on the team. So it's nice that there is that team approach that you take to the recovery or to the improved quality of life or journey for the people that are using your services. So what does a typical appointment look like? I've identified I'm in pain, I'm uncomfortable, I've decided it's chiropractic. What do I do now?
So yeah, the first visit is going to be a little bit longer. We're going to go through the entire history of the issue, other health issues that you might have, an injury if there was one, details. We'll get all that information to make sure that we know what we're dealing with. We can make a proper diagnosis, and then we'll do the examination as well. So movements, joint testing, muscle testing. Potentially some nerve testing as well. Could even be, sport movement testing, like specific movements in the gym, if that's, related to the issue. And then after all of that, we've got all this information, we provide a diagnosis, and then we make a plan. And then the plan involves the treatment, but also things that you should do, things that you should maybe not do. All of that is contained within the first visit, and then we carry out the plan in follow-up visits.
Mm-hmm. That plan's so important too. We want to outline, okay, this is the problem that you've been experiencing. If we do A, B, C, and D, we can get this under control. And I'm going to give you the letters, the next letters in the alphabet, whatever comes after D, to help take care of this thing for the future. That whole first appointment too is like, let's get to know each other, let's figure out what's going on, and let's tell you how to fix this, and we're going to guide you through it.
So, Clayton, you had mentioned at the beginning maybe the difference of, or the practice of, as compared to maybe what it used to be traditionally, other than the obvious lightness that you gave it around snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah.
What is sort of the major difference in level of care and service and chiropractic, both today, but more so even at the clinic, that sets you guys apart? Like I think there's a number of practitioners in the area. Why Affinity and why one of you?
I feel like lots of chiropractors get stuck into this mindset where whatever your problem is, we're going to adjust the spine. Oh, your neck hurts? I'm going to adjust it. I'm going to make it crack and pop until it feels better. But that's not always going to resolve the issue. You know, maybe there's a tight muscle that keeps locking things up, and that's why we got to keep adjusting it. But if you don't give, you know, if you don't do some active release or stretching of that muscle, if I don't give you a few things to work on, that problem's going to keep on coming back. And what I think really sets us apart is I'm going to show you how to make this thing go away. If we got to adjust the spine to get those joints moving properly and restore that range of motion, absolutely, we'll do it. But that's not always the case. Our first thought isn't, where does it hurt? Crack. See you later. And I really like that we kind of changed how chiropractic has been over the last handful of years, where people come in, what's the problem? Crack, crack, see you later. With us, you come in, what's the problem? Okay, let's understand what's going on here. I'm not just going to crack and pop you. I'm going to give you a few things to work on. We're going to do other things to help it as well. And I think that's what really sets Affinity apart is we're more than just the rack and crack, pop, pop, see you later kind of chiropractors.
And again, I haven't had the opportunity to work with you, Sasha, but I know Clayton, and I can't say exactly what's different, but as I said, I've been to a number of chiropractors over the year, and I'm is pleasantly surprised the right word? I'm pleasantly surprised that when I come in for another visit with you, it's not just a repeat of what I had before. You're checking, you're double checking, you're measuring, and then you're administering something that's different, and it's refreshing and it's appreciated because it feels customized for me. It's not just do this, do this, do this. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Everyone's so unique in their treatment process. You know, common injuries like a rotator cuff tear where people tear a muscle in their shoulder. Everyone who's going to recover from that is going to be completely different. So even though that recovery process, and there's scientific protocols that we follow, we go, okay, we got to do A, B, C, and D, but not everyone's treatment is just going to follow this straight line. It's going to be this wiggly path, and then you're going to hopefully get to that end goal. So making those customized treatment plans are so important for each person. Like Sasha was saying earlier with athletes, if we're working with a baseball player, we got to make sure you can throw a ball. If I'm working with my 70-year-old dragon boater, she's not too concerned about throwing balls. We just got to make sure she can paddle. And so if we can kind of customize those things and just really make it niche for them, the individual treatment plans are so important.
Yeah, we're just trying to help in whatever way we can. So we've got all these possible treatments and all these kind of suggestions that we can make. And we're just going to do the ones that make the most sense given the case in front of us. So we're not going to force it into the same treatment every time because that might not help every time. So
I also think that something we do too is we don't just look at the one injury, we look at everything around it. So maybe you have a shoulder problem. Okay, well, what's going on with the ribs, the hips, the lower back? Is there a muscle imbalance here or there? As opposed to just going, here's the one problem, let's fix that. We go, okay, here's the one problem, let's work on that. But is this contributing to it? Is that contributing to it? Should we work on this thing, work on that thing? And so if we kind of take the body as a whole and then just not fix the problem, but fix everything, people start feeling so much better.
So you are both passionate and you're clearly living what you want to do to have that positive impact on people and to make a difference in the quality of life, paddler, athlete, whatever the case may be. What actually inspired you to do this? Do you come from a medical family? Do you come from a medical family? What was I'd love to know your origins of your whys.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, my grandfather was an internal medicine doctor. He passed when I was pretty young though, so I didn't get to see him in action. But no, the main reason for my choosing chiropractic was I had a lower back injury when I was just starting to get pretty passionate about lifting weights, and chiropractic cleared it up immediately. So it was very, very helpful. And then I went back for other more kind of longer term problems that I had, and it just got a good kind of experience of different types of treatment, really proper rehab kind of treatment as well. So that kind of sparked, and then maybe forgot about it for a little while as I finished up undergrad, and then when it was time to make a decision about graduate school, then brought that one back.
That's interesting. How about you?
Mine goes back a long ways. I always knew I wanted to get into a career of helping people, basically when I was a little kid. Because growing up, me and my stepdad would watch every single Canucks game possible. We were just diehard fans. I loved it. And
Do not hold that against me.
this is their year.
Okay.
I've been saying since I was born. And I always wanted to play hockey growing up, but my parents couldn't afford to put me in hockey, but I still loved watching it. And so when a player would get injured, and when the trainers would come out on the ice and help that player, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy helping that person. And
Interesting.
so I always knew I wanted to go into healthcare. My family was like bankers, construction workers, still a lot of that. And one day I was in university getting my kinesiology degree at UBC Okanagan, go Heat. And I remember my neck locked up. Woke up, couldn't turn my head to the left. I was like, oh, this sucks. And I've seen chiropractors in the past. And I went to see a chiropractor. He adjusted me, and just right away I could turn my head to the left. I had so much relief. I was like, oh, what a great feeling. And then I thought, how cool would it be to give people that feeling every day? And then a month later, I applied to chiropractic school.
Clayton, that's the passion. Not everybody wants to help someone, so following that, being reminded again that that's an option and that's a path, and to pursue that, I think that's incredible I think it's a really neat story, the way you guys met, the way you educated together, and then you graduate and you come here and you work at Affinity. I think there's a really neat bond there. Is there, again, through that lens of chiropractic of today, there's a couple of different audiences. I think there's those that have been to a chiropractor and been very unsuccessful. They haven't enjoyed it. Been there, done that. I don't need that. And then there's people that maybe haven't, maybe, I'm guessing, might be fearful of the old way. So is there anything that you would encourage people to potentially either revisit chiropractic as a possible assistance to their medical challenges, or something that could myth bust the old? Either of you?
Yeah, I think for anyone that's had maybe an unsuccessful experience, potentially with just the adjustment only type treatment, giving it another try with a more holistic approach is worth a try, because there's just so many other things that we can do and so many other ways we can help other than an adjustment. So it's definitely worth giving it a go, because we can do other things, and we don't even have to do an adjustment either. So if it's painful or you just don't like the sound of a pop, we can just do other stuff. So there's plenty of options.
Love it.
So good for another try.
I've seen a lot of people who come in and go, chiropractic's not for me. I've seen chiropractors, it didn't work. I'm not really enthusiastic about this appointment. I go, hey, I've seen chiropractors before, and it didn't work for me in the past because it was a different issue that needed to be resolved. And if you've seen those chiropractors in the past who was, like I was saying earlier, what's the issue? Oh, let's just crack the spine until it's better. That's not going to fix the problem.
No.
And so trying a new approach to it, a new chiropractic approach, an affinity approach, is probably more up your alley. I give people this example too, is, if you've been to one chiropractor and it didn't go well, you can't assume all chiropractors are going to be the same. You know, if you went to Taco Bell for Mexican food and you thought, this is Mexican food, I'm out.
Oh boy.
When there's
Right?
so much better food out there, like El Taquero downtown. I'll take
So
free
good.
tacos.
So
Free
good.
plug for you.
So
In
it's
that
good.
analogy, we're all the hero, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm off with that. Yeah.
But it's so true. We can't go to a hair salon and have a bad experience and never visit another hair salon again. So very important, I think, to if you're suffering with quality of life issues that can potentially be addressed with chiropractic, it's a really good opportunity to reach out to the clinic and see about scheduling an appointment with either one of you and seeing if we can't get people back on to enjoy this beautiful region that we live in
Yeah.
with the active people that we have in the community.
We also offer free 20-minute consults. So if you have a problem and you don't know if it's a chiropractic problem or you're unsure about chiropractic, you can book a free consult, come talk to us for 20 minutes, and we can kind of figure out what's going on with you. And if we think it's a problem we can address, then we can go from there. If it's something that we go, maybe this isn't for us, we can also refer you to wherever you need to go.
I love that. Sasha, Clayton, thank you very much for coming in and spending some time with us here in the studio. And thank you.
Thanks so much for
Thanks
having
for
us.
having us.
Thanks.